Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my third Time Agent vlog, third after the introduction. This time it's on the third episode of Time Agent from Series 1, Hardly Human. This episode focuses on the Flower Aliens. The team are chasing the Flower Aliens down. Liam, Ben and Danny get captured by the Flower Aliens, leaving Dan to go and chase after them. Ben escapes, so the two have to work together to rescue Liam and Danny and stop the Flower Aliens. Liam escapes, and then he tries to rescue Danny, but is apparently shot. Then Dan is captured, and then is rescued by Liam, who turned out to have not been the alien who shot him, missed, and he just pretended to be dead. And he rescues Dan, and apparently Danny. I don't think there's much Danny in this one, especially not after the titles. He's in the pre-titles, but I don't think he's in the rest of the episode. And Dan manages to chase the Flower Alien leader, so he calls himself. As Liam says, they don't really have a leader, and he's the only one who talks. And he's probably the only time we have a Flower Alien as the leader of the Flower Aliens. Liam manages to catch him, and he's imprisoned with a warning that they are coming. Who are they? We don't know. The possible masters of the chainsaws? Possibly. But we never find out. We also don't know who the big leader is. Is it Agent Mortis? Is it the executive? Sadly, we don't get to find out. Again, I don't know if Torchwood had done anything like this, like setting up all of it. If it did, it probably did lead to the big... I know there was a creature similar to the Devil from Doctor Who Series 2 that appeared at the end of the series. So if it was leading all up to that, then that makes sense. But this, I think it's hinting at something else happening. Like there's these big, great monsters, aliens coming from high. They're coming down. They're going to invade in the series finale, and it's just Agent Mortis. And then there's the battle for the box, but there's nothing to say that there are masters asking them to take over the world, or attempt to take over the world, so when they get there they can take over, almost like that. Like if in the Dalek invasion of Earth, a human said that they bombarded the planet with plague, and also in Day of the Daleks, there was wars going off and the Daleks just slipped in and invaded. So someone could have been using these aliens as a way to prepare the planet for invasion, or to attempt to take over at least a small area where at the time the biggest Time Agent team was operating, the most notable, aside from Torchwood and Unit, the most notable Earth Defence team. That's Torchwood 3, before it was blown up in Children of Earth. And I suppose after Children of Earth, the Time Agency Eastern Branch becomes the most significant Earth defending team outside of Unit before it's blown up. And that's in Series 2, by the way, spoiler alert. And yeah, but it was like it was hinting to something bigger, but we didn't get that. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be hinting to. As for the story itself, it's good, it's entertaining. It's just, I think this episode is particularly Dan's story. The first two were pretty much team-based ones. The next one, episode 4, is Ben taking charge, and it's pretty much him as the main character for the episode. Then 5 and 6 are pretty much team-based again. Although I don't think Danny has an episode where he gets to take centre frame, like Dan in this one, Ben in the next one, or Liam in a few of them. But yeah, I think Danny should have been the centre frame of one of these episodes. But it's mostly team-based, which is good, but if you've got Dan and Ben having centred ones, then Danny needs to have one as well. It's only fair. Liam's getting plenty. However, I can say that Sebi Tracy's acting as Dan the Cyborg is great. It's really good. I think he's getting into the role similar with Harry Williams as Ben, and I would say Matt Williams as Danny, but he doesn't appear much. He appears as a Flower Alien, as does Sebi, but not much as Danny. But we'll see what he is next week. He's doing well so far. Billy Tracy's Agent Liam. In this episode, Liam is shouting quite a bit, especially in the pre-titles. Well, not shout, he's quite a shouty one. There was a comment on the YouTube comment section saying that Liam shouted too much. I'm not sure who it was, I didn't look. But I noticed it at one point when watching it. So not recently, but at one of my many viewings of the episode. Yeah, I agree, he does shout quite a few times. Not a shout, it's like high pitch. It's like he's raising the voice a little when he doesn't need to be. He raises his voice a little, but he doesn't have to, unless they were in danger. But even then the twist at the fact that the alien had missed killing him, it's good, I guess. It's alright. It was a funny twist. Well, I'm not sure why they needed it, but the reveal that he missed was funny. But I'm not sure why it was there at all. I think Dan should have just tried to act his way in and gotten the team out. Maybe he rescues Ben and then they come back and they work together to get out Liam and Danny, but then Dan gets captured on the way out. So Liam has to go back in and rescue him, and that's where we get the confrontation with the Flower Alien leader. So, yeah. And this is the only time that the Flower Alien speaks. I think I must have already mentioned. Production's looking good. The effects on the guns, they got someone else to do this one, I think. But at night time, it looks pretty weak. Yeah, that's my only complaint with that. And it hails in the middle of the episode. This is the episode where it hails, if you've seen in the for this series, from episodes 2 to 6, they have this kind of, I think Torchwood Series 2 did it, this little montage with music and clips from the series that would precede the pre-titles. We are the Time Agency. They do this for Series 2 up to Episode 5. Episode 6, it starts off and then it turns into more of a teaser to the episode. Series 3, they just have the previous leads from 2 to 6, so they don't have the We Are the Time Agency thing. And I don't think the specials have them. So, yeah, so if you've seen that little pre-title scene, little bit, whatever it's called, then you will notice that there was a shot or two of Sebi Tracy and Harry Williams in Hailstorm. It's in this episode. But yeah, that's it from me on this episode. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's good, it's got a good story, but it's not as interesting as last time. Sebi Tracy does great. I think it could have been an 8 if Liam didn't shout or raise his voice so much. Maybe once or twice, but nah. Also, notes here, he wears more of a Captain Jack costume in this one rather than a 10th Doctor suit. But, yeah, it's a nice change of pace, but it's not really the best. I think it's slightly better than the first episode, but only because the story's slightly better. But this is episodes 1 and this one, neither of them are the weakest episode of Time Agent. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, that's it for Hardly Human, the 3rd episode of Series 1. Next time, now before we get to episode 4, The Lone Troop, we've got the mid-series special, Liam's Lessons. This is only a 5-6 minute special. And it's like, if Time Agent was a TV show, this would be a Red Button or Internet minisode that you might get on the DVD. I don't know if it's included on the DVD, to be honest. Series 1 and the specials have DVD releases. I don't know if it is on the DVD, to be honest. But it should be, if it isn't. It should be, because it's technically part of the series, or they should have their own, this and the other not episodic episodes like the ones you can't see now, Chasing Flower Aliens, and the game and the Lone Flower Alien. They should have their own DVD release, minisodes, or their own disc. But that's it from me. Yep, next time will be Liam's Lessons, the Series 1 mid-series special. Then Series 1 Episode 4, no, that's not right, that's this one, The Lone Troop. I'll see you guys next time.